my friend, it's Pat Sloan here. So today we are doing the next row of Paradise Park and Paradise Park lanterns. Could I get the name right? Could I? And then next week we do the last two rows, and then a final the week after. So fun. This one has been so fun, and it is such a great size. Let me just show you where I'm at. Okay, I have a little clip first. Let me just run it. I do have to tell you before I sew this on, you'll get over here on the ironing board. This is the main body of it. That I had it rotated with the small section up here. So when I counted the rows, it was like more rows than I was expecting. And I'm like, what is going on? How could I be that messed up? And eventually I figured it out that I had to rotate it for the wider part. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I have got the blue, the navy, the blue. I am good. Navy, navy, pink, pink. And it's the right end. I don't have it rotated, so I can go ahead and sew this row to the body. So I couldn't believe that I was getting had the short end on the ironing board. So crazy trying to figure that out. What's wrong with me? So there we go. And I love, let me just show you. So in case you see how the little squares go all the way up like that, I really like it, that diagonal. And then across this way, they're the two blues, the navy and the little bit lighter blue. So we do get a definite, for all of you very symmetrical people, you get a lot of definite color sort of sweeps through this particular layout, which is super fun. So I hope you're sharing yours in my Quilt Along with Pat Sloan group. So there were 2 days, celebrations today. One is Smile Day. Now, a few years back, quite a few now, I think, I did this pillow for a book tour of emoji applique designs. It was so much fun. To the book is so cute. So I will link in the description box below so you can get the book if you want to do emojis. But it was sort of when people use them super a lot, although I use them all the time still. Does that mean I'm old? I don't know. I think everybody still uses emojis. They just change which ones are cool, right? And I don't keep up. I'm not cool. The other celebration today is, it's gardening day. Every day is gardening day. It's some level, right? In 2020, I started watching the Garden Answer YouTube, which was on daily at the time. And she still does, I think, 5 or 6 days a week. And they are a couple that owns house on a nice sized piece of property, and they basically just garden to teach you about gardening. They don't sell their garden stuff, they don't have a store. They do now have some products, but I mean, it's like their primary thing is to teach you, and YouTube is their business. And they just have such cool stuff. I love the banter and I love the information. Even though I don't want to do that level of gardening, I think it's really fun and interesting to watch. And so today being gardening day, I decided I would drag out one of my older quilts, because basically almost every quilt I have probably has flowers on it, either in the fabric or when I did applique, they had most of them had some flower fabric somewhere in it, or flower images. So I got one of my applique ones out, and it is called Wild Roses. The original was in a McCall's magazine, I believe, and then I put it into one of my Leisure Arts books. And the Leisure Arts, I'll give you the name then. So first let me show you the quilt. It does have a top and the bottom, because I'll show you why. So here is, and it's small, it's wall hanging size, or if you wanted to do it as a table topper, or if you were so inclined to give baby quilts maybe with applique on it, there you go. So that's my Wild Roses. I did the quilting on it, which, let me show you the back. When I'm quilting, I want the thread color, the primary thread color for me is what's on the front, and I don't really care if the back, has different thread colors. So you can see that there's white, there's matching green. Here is the back, once again, just using up things that I had. And so my roses, the roses themselves have they're an oval. So for me, that means that they have a particular direction, an up or a down. This was first made in 2003. That's 21 years ago. Oh my goodness. And I still love it. I still love it. It is one of those timeless, for me, timeless. I don't really work in this color palette right now, but I still love it. And I did different fabrics for the background, as you can see. This also, I did a table runner. And why I did asymmetrical is because that's how my brain works. So you could easily just do this with the flowers going, straight across. It's a small table runner. It's almost like a dresser scarf, like something, like that terminology is very old fashioned, but something you would put on a smaller place because it's not really that big. But it's fun because if you didn't want to make the whole quilt, but you still love the wild roses, great gift for people if, kind of like the center of a table even. But you could easily just make these straight across. Or you could even do it more like an oval. So over here you could put like 2 wild roses and another stem so that you could make them more like an oval, and then you just shift some berries. If you want to be real symmetrical, you could put berries here and berries up there. Be very symmetrical. So this is in my Leisure Arts book, Quilt the Seasons, book 2. For those of you that own it, of course, if they do a digital copy, I'll link you to it. Leisure Arts didn't put all my books digital, just a few of them, but if that happens to be one of them, I'll link it to you. So there you go. That is my applique garden. One of the many, many, many quilts that I have flowers on. But I thought I wanted to get one out today to show you for Garden Day. Another thing that I have done on Facebook is I converted my food group so that it is more than food. I did this about, I don't know now, towards the beginning of the month, 2 or 3 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago now, and have just let it play out with the people who were already in that group. And here's what I did. I did a couple things and what it's all about. And it's for you and you and you. So I converted the group from public to private so that it is just people who know who I am. If I have a public group, then a lot of people will join who have just see the word, like at that time, the word food, and they're like, oh, it's a cooking group or something. I'll maybe see what that's about. And then maybe they see some stuff and they say, oh, that looks really friendly. I'll join it. They don't have no idea who I am. And so I did not want that for that particular group. It's a much, much, much smaller community, very, very small. Well, it's like 10,000, but that's small to me. And what I want to do is I sort of let play out what's going on. I'm calling it my fireside chat group, which is an old word I used years ago when I did when I was first started ramping my videos back up, and they were just once a week. That's what I called it. They may have even been once a month. I can't remember. It may have been once a month and I went to once a week, but it was called a fireside chat because it was so limited number of them. And so I think one of the ambassadors suggested that name, so I thought that would really be great. And so I did that. But the content, what's in there is for us here at YouTube to be able to go over and chat with each other and show photos. Things that we're doing that are not quilting. So there's gardening, there's making of other things that you're making, because we are all makers here, and many of us do a lot of other things. And gardening to me is making, and gardening is my biggest inspiration, and so definitely gardening has to be involved. And that's right now, being spring, rolling into the early part of summer, gardening is the big thing that we're talking about. Then there's still people showing some recipes or asking questions. And there's a bit of cross stitch in there. I'm a little waffling on cross stitch still being in the big quilt group. It can go in either one because there's a bit of crossover. But the YouTube is really for us to talk about what we're making. And maybe the topics here, like if I was talking about volunteering the other day, that would be a great place for us to have additional conversation, for you to maybe show your group that you're volunteering with. So it is a friendship group. It is it is a broader topic, and that may not appeal to you, but if it does, I hope you come over and join. It is all moderated exactly like the big group, so when you post, you have to wait for us to look at it and approve it. We do not post videos because we cannot curate them. You would not believe what people share occasionally by accident, I'm sure, but yeah, we don't have time to be looking at that and seeing if it's all okay. So there's no videos. Those are all just automatically deleted. And it has all the same controls for us. So that is what it's about. And you can find it. It's a fireside chat, Pat Sloan, and I put the link in the description box and at the pinned post and at my no, just here at YouTube, because I want to keep it just to the YouTube group, because we want to talk about things that we talk about here, and the people who don't watch my videos, then they have no clue what's going on, and it gets it's just not as much fun. It's not as much fun when people join in who don't have a clue what's going on or what we talk about here on the YouTube. So that is now available for you to come over and join. So I hope you do. I have to show you a couple goodies. This I bought when I was buying some other things the other day. It's another one of Tula Pink's animals. Oh, isn't that darling? I love the giraffes. When I taught in South Africa, I was able to go out to a reserve that was near Johannesburg, not that far out of town, for to see some of the animals. It was just so cool. Ah, so cool. So I had to have that one. The memories, right? Our fabric is memories. So many of them. You look at it and you think of something. Yeah, then we have to have it. The other thing is, some of you might enjoy this pattern. I am not doing this quilt along, but Lori Holt and the Fat Quarter Shop, I guess, are both making this. They had a kit. I'll check if it's still there. I'll link it below, but you might really enjoy sewing this. And they had a cross stitch one too. So they look, sometimes their cross stitches are a little bit different, but for these, they're pretty much the same, which are super cute. Super cute if you are a scarecrow person, which I know a bunch of you love scarecrows. I also got in the So Colorful bundle, and let me just show you this, because they are such a great thing, a subscription that you can get. It is a wonderful way to build your collection of colors, because they come by color. So this is a gray bundle, and they give you all the SKU numbers so that if you see something and you're like, okay, I really would like more than a fat quarter of that. And the fabrics are all different styles as well, which I really think is awesome. It's not all just traditional or all just modern. It is a group of fabrics. Okay, so I'll go through it. Look at this. That is beautiful. Oh, this is really, really, really cool. Looks like paintbrush strokes. And here's a really awesome blender. That would be great for a background fabric. So if you're doing something you need a background fabric. Oh my, these are people. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, cool. Very cool. Here's now, and then they are different tones. So this one's more taupe to me, which brings in a bit more brown. And it's a super cool graphic design. Again, awesome background fabric. And there's this one we had in the more gray. This one's a little bit more taupe. Taupe for me just means there's a little bit more brown, a little bit more yellow. And then this leans even a little bit more so, which is gorgeous. Look at that. Look at that. What a cool, cool fabric. Oh, so we get to see all the colors of this one. And yeah, they're beautiful. Same with that. So we got a bunch of the different shades of it. So this is super for matching your project, determining if this will work for you. Now you have a fat quarter of it to really audition your fabrics. That's also a great one. A lot of great backgrounds in here. Also for small things. So if you're doing small patchwork, these are amazing for small patchwork. Love this, love this. You're seeing it upside down. It's like a sun, at least it is to me. Okay, we got another shade of this guy and another shade of that guy. So awesome. So those are all beautiful. So if any of these are left, they will be at the link. Otherwise, there are some of the other color bundles still there available. If you missed one, or all of a sudden you're like, hey, I really need some more orange, and there might be an orange. So check it out. Time for the picnic quilt. Time for putting things together today, seeing where we are. So I did start, I've got them. There we go. So I got 2 of these done so far. And I have the other 2 waiting, because pretty much I would just sew them all at once rather than doing, you know, a leader ender kind of start stop thing. Instead, I would just do all at once, and I did 2 of them, so they will be able to be rotated all the way around. And I've got all of these in quadrants, but before I show you that, there's another step that I did. So let me run that. Ugh. To make this easiest for me, I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then the bottom half will be 7, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we'll do 6 on the top and then 6 across. So that'll be a unit. And then I'll sew those, and those. So I'll have 4 quadrants and then sew those all together. So that is much easier to do 6 across by 6 down and keep track. So what do you do when like your design wall has something on it? I really need to be sure my row is correct. So I pull up the picture on my monitor and I'm just going to lay it here. So I'm checking to be sure these blue are going the right direction. I've got a pink and a navy, and that this navy is going the right direction. And then what I have to do is be sure I get this end and sew it to the body. All right, let's do it. I have this left side done into sections. So I'm going to get the other camera and show you how the sections look so that you can visualize if that will work for you as a way to sew these together. I decided to sew them in 9 patches, as much as I could. Then there's the bottom row has to be sewn with 1 more. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. A 9 patch. And I want you to see how there's a dark in the middle, then here the darks are on the side. So that is what's going on. But I have specific placement, so I do not just I didn't randomly just make these. I want them up here and then sew. 9 patches are easy to sew. Then I will sew these 2 together, these 2 together, these 2, and then down here I had to, you know, because it's an odd number, so I had to do another row. So on the bottom. So basically this whole section then will be sewn, and that's half, the smaller half. This half has to have the 7, you know, so I've got 1 more row out here. You know, 1, where am I at? The green, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 across. So it'll be the same way, but that I'll have 9 patch. This group 9 patch, and then these will have the extra one. So this will all have like the extra, but that is the process. So I find the best way is to take these down and keep them in the right position. That's important so that I don't mess it up, is to put them on the design board. So basically am doing it in the sections. So let me just take this one right here. I've got this will be the 9 patch, a 9 patch here and a 9 patch above, because at this particular row there's still 9 patches, and when I go to that outer one, then they have, you know, another 3 items on the side. So there I am. So I'm keeping track. I will keep, you know, I always have this teal one to know where up is. It's just, if for placement wise, like I also have, this one is a directional, so it's up. But occasionally there might only be these, and I have to keep track that I don't like put the bottom row up at the top, you know, like that, because I'm being very specific about fabric placement on this one, and if I rotate it, it might end up two fabrics that are the same be next to each other or too close, then I had them separated. So I'm always looking for a fabric on here that I can keep track of. Otherwise, if I can't, if there's nothing but these, then I will go ahead and put a wonder clip. Let me try to, yeah, I'll hold it. I'll put a wonder clip at the top, so that I know that that's the top, and that just gives me, you could stick a pin or whatever, but just so that you know and can keep track. The picnic quilt is so much fun. Somebody did ask me about, wasn't I afraid of having the white in there for something that I would throw on the ground? Well, this isn't going on the ground, so no, I'm okay. I don't sit on the ground anymore, probably haven't done that for 40 years, so this is just going to be a cuddle quilt, and that's, yeah, it doesn't go on the ground. But if you have your picnic quilt where you expect the kids to take it and, you know, camping and throw it on the ground, then you probably want to use maybe tan instead of white for your background. You know, just think through how it's going to be used. Okay, my friend, lots of fun stuff. I'm excited to see the Paradise Lanterns coming together, and share your picnic quilt progress, because this is a fast sew. At this point, I will start getting it quickly. Oh, also, are you enjoying seeing it like every day? So I pretty much have something almost every day as I'm going through here, which is weird for me because usually I have once a week for projects. So it's kind of fun, but it also uses my design wall. So I can't put something else, and I know I could layer, but I'm not going to. So I love you. Mwah. Thank you for being here in the Sloan Zone, and I will see you in June. That's Monday, online.